Hello and welcome to Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. Let's take you through some of the stories that are making the headlines. The NBA is coming to South Africa in August for the first time ever. And tributes pour in for former South Africa captain John Moshwe, who died on Tuesday. For the first time ever, basketball enthusiasts in Africa will get a chance to see some of the biggest names from the sport when the NBA plays its first game in South Africa in August. The exhibition game in Johannesburg will pit Team Africa against Team World. Team Africa will be captained by South Sudan-born and Miami Heat forward Leol Deng, while Team World will be led by the Los Angeles Clippers point guard Chris Paul.
John Deng, going through it for Miami Heat. The NBA Africa Game 2015 is on August 1st in Johannesburg, where Team Africa will take on Team World in the first ever NBA game in Africa. I was born in South Sudan in a town called Wau, which is a 16-hour drive from the capital, Juba. I would have never have dreamt that one day I'll be playing in an NBA game in Africa. Nope. And the follow basketball is a growing sport. It's an international sport. It's just touching so many different parts of the world now. A lot of people in Africa have always been passionate about it, and growing up, they never had the chance to watch basketball, and now they have the chance to do so and be more involved into the game, with the game, and follow it. Just an amazing thing, and I'm glad that the NBA is doing its part to get the people in Africa engaged and encourage them to take part of the game.
One clap! One clap! Good answer, my coach. Good answer.
Africa, are you ready?
That was an NBA Africa promo ahead of the game in Johannesburg in August. Players from across the world are in Senegal competing for world ranking points in the second International Women Tennis Open in Dakar. A total prize money of $15,000 is also up for grabs in the tournament, which ends on Saturday.
24 women tennis players from around the world are taking part in the second edition of the International Women Tennis Open of Dakar, being played at the city's Olympic Club. This year, the event has seen the competition increased to an International Tennis Federation (ITF) Pro Circuit $15,000 category tournament, making for increased competition. And with more WTA points available for the tournament, the competition is also increasingly attractive to international players.
We
are not accustomed to playing the 15,000. 15,000 provide more points than the $10,000. And as it is mid-season for players in France, this allows us to up the pace as it is very fast. It really is accessible to all players, and I think it's a good opportunity to come and try to gain points and see that the culture is very good too.
Senegal's reputation as a tourist attraction, its proximity to Europe for European players, and its situation in Africa have all helped, while the extra points available have this year clearly already made the tournament a success.
Most of the girls come to improve their WTA rankings. This tournament is the gateway to the highest rankings. The girls coming to play are among the world's top 200. Permitting them to play at this level helps to improve their WTA rankings.
Some players, however, feel there needs to be more funding in such events in order to improve the African players.
Actually, in Madagascar, we have lots of very good players. It's just, like in Africa and overall, it's need lots of competitions to play, and we need also funds because if we don't have any support, we cannot develop that talent that we have.
The winner of the first edition, Swiss national Connie Perrin, is back to defend her title. The singles finals will be played on Saturday.
Welcome back to Sports News Africa. The memorial service for the late Bafana Bafana and Kaizer Chiefs star John Shoes Mshweyu will take place on Friday at the Grace Bible Church in Soweto. Mshweyu died on Tuesday after a long battle with stomach cancer. He was a popular member of the South African football fraternity and made an immense contribution to the 1996 Africa Cup of Nations winning team, scoring 4 goals in their run to the title. Mshweyu's former Bafana Bafana colleagues described him as the Nelson Mandela of South African football. We can now speak to Neil Tovey, who played alongside John Mshweyu and captained the team that won the 1996 Africa Cup of Nations. Neil, can you tell us your fondest memory of your former teammate, the late Shoes Mshweyu?
Yeah, obviously, when you talk of Shoes, you're talking of his unbelievable balance on the ball, his quickness of pace, and, he was exceptional. You get your... South Africa's got abundance of talented individual midfielders, but Shoes was something different. He could play anywhere in the world because he had such balance, both left and right, and body serves, and that's on that aspect. He was a wonderful footballer. So this is balance. He just likened me to a champion racehorse, a thoroughbred racehorse. That's how eloquently he moved across the surface.
What impact did Shoes have among African fans after his standout performance for South Africa at the 96 Nations Cup?
Well, that's all it. I mean, his performance during that tournament, man of match performance, man of the tournament, was outstanding for us. When we were battling in some games, i.e. against Ghana at one stage, just to get us back into rhythm, they produced something astonishing with overhead bicycle kick to score a goal. So he was always had the ability to do things like that of unbelievable nature. And as you say, the fans, were taking their shoes off because his nickname was Shoes, as you know. And they were taking their shoes off and holding it above their heads, and that's how much the fans, really felt for him.
He's one of the first South African players who broke into European leagues in the early 90s when he went to Turkey. Did this inspire many other South African players to make the move?
Oh, yes, but it wasn't just, obviously, as you know, Lucas Radebe and former singer and Shoes and Fani, but him going to Turkey now, you got to appreciate the way of coming out of the cultures that we have here in this country to totally new culture in Turkey. So it was extremely difficult, but he was one that could adapt and persevere because he had a mindset to. And obviously that showed other footballers the way that if he can do it, then other South Africans can as well.
What lessons can young footballers who aspire to play at the highest level learn from Shoes Mshweyu, who still played for Bafana at the age of 38 and played in the Premier League for AmaZulu until the age of 42?
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to say, is that, if you can learn anything from it, the span of his career and the age, it showed you how he lived his life, a total professional that lived the life the correct way, and that's why he had so much longevity in his play, and playing at the age of 42. It's remarkable. It doesn't happen too much anywhere in the world. So he was, he's a phenomenon. He was a phenomenon.
Neil Tovey, thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa. Staying in South Africa, Mshweyu's former club, the Kaizer Chiefs, clinched their 4th Premier League title on Wednesday with a crushing 4-1 win over Polokwane City. A minute's silence was observed before the match in honour of the late South Africa international and Amakhosi star, who played for the Sowetan side for 4 years, from 2003 to 2006. Fans packed into FNB Stadium in Soweto to honour their former player. It was a somber note to proceedings before the league-leading Chiefs faced Polokwane City. When the action began, the Chiefs proved too strong for Polokwane with a convincing 4-1 victory, with George Lebes, Bernard Parker and Matthew Rusiki all getting on the score sheet. Madagascar's victorious team returned home to a hero's welcome after wrestling the 2015 CAF Beach Soccer Championship crown from holders Senegal and the Seychelles. This was Madagascar's first ever continental title and quite an achievement for former French professional goalkeeper Claude Barab, who was only installed as coach a month before the event.
Madagascar are certainly no household name in the world of soccer, either on the international or the African stage. So their victory at the 2015 Confederation of African Football African Beach Soccer Championship held recently in the Seychelles has surprised not only the rest of Africa, but even their own fans, who turned out in droves to welcome the team home. While the Indian Ocean country may have shocked football enthusiasts with their win, held at Roche Cayman in the Seychelles, the players themselves were less than surprised.
We have put the sport above everything. We had prepared for this, and that is why we won. We were very well prepared.
One of the reasons that Madagascar may not be known for its regular football potential is the appalling state of local football infrastructure.
The country's fields are pathetic, leaving room for village matches only. This reduces football development to district level. With youth playing this football even at 7 years, it has grown popular in the neighborhood. As they keep improving, it becomes a fashion as it is a sport.
But what the country is lacking in infrastructure, it is making up for in potential that the beach soccer sides coach says will be revealed at the Beach Soccer World Cup in Portugal in July, which Madagascar will now be attending.
We set up a strategy and it worked. Expect the same during the World Cup.
In the CAF finals in the Seychelles, Madagascar beat favourite Senegal 4-3 in post-match penalties to lift the CAF African Beach Soccer Championship trophy and dethrone the reigning champions.
Here's a quick look at Wednesday's Champions League results. Juventus are through to the last four of the Champions League for the first time since 2003, after a goalless draw in their quarter-final second leg with Monaco on Wednesday saw them progress 1-0 on aggregate. They joined Real Madrid, Barcelona and Bayern Munich into the last four. The draw for the semi-finals will be held at UEFA's headquarters in Nyon in Switzerland on Friday. So let's take a look at Wednesday's basketball results. The Spurs and the Clippers are all knotted up in the series after San Antonio's victory on Wednesday, but both the Memphis Grizzlies and Atlanta Hawks won their games to take a 2-0 series lead over the Portland Trail Blazers and the Brooklyn Nets. And finally, former Egypt international footballers have joined forces to give disadvantaged children a chance to shine on the big stage. The former Egyptian internationals are hoping to discover promising stars of the future ahead of the international six-a-side tournament for street children in August.
Despite a recent nosedive at international and continental level, Egypt's national football side, the Pharaohs, is the most successful nation in the African Cup of Nations history, with the side winning the cup 7 times. Even at club level, teams like Al Ahly are a force to reckon with. Now, some of their former top players are focusing their attention in the search for talent on a sector of Egyptian society that is often forgotten. Speaking at a football tournament organized for orphans in Cairo, the former internationals said opportunities should also be awarded to the less fortunate who also had potential.
There are many targets for organizing such events. We need to provide help to orphans. We should be around them to encourage them as a part of the community. We are trying hard to create a chance that will help some of them be stars like us and even better.
The tournament was part of Egypt's latest plans to boost the sport and also establish a more inclusive society. The internationals are scouting for orphans who dream of playing professionally but have no opportunity to make it in football.
Frankly, I'm so happy to be a part of this event because it's an unusual event that aims at achieving a goal of giving a chance to those children who are not by themselves able to make their dreams come true.
Hopes were high for the street children playing at the competition, which will be used to select a six-a-side team for disadvantaged children.
Maybe some of them will play for the Egyptian national team or for any other club. We do not know what will happen with them. Those orphans have no parents to discover their talent. They do not have parents who will help them to join a club like Ahly and Zamalek. So we are giving them a chance to be chosen by soccer experts who would recommend some to play for clubs, of which makes their dreams a fact.
The tournament, the Satouk World Cup, will be held in Cairo in August. Will see teams comprised of disadvantaged children from around the world take part.
And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again tomorrow for more of the latest from the African continent and elsewhere. Bye for now.